In this Daily Drop, I'm going to talk about an article that I think is worth reading related to AI and how it's impacting our industry and industries as a whole. So let's go. All right, everybody, here in the barn. Didn't get to the episode I wanted to today because I'm still testing some things. And when the user manual doesn't have anything about the new feature that's in the product, and it's not working the way you think it's supposed to, then you've got to send emails out. So it's gotten to that point. But I've been having a lot of conversations with people recently, not only about our industry, but AI and how it is impacting our industry, both for better and for worse. And there's an article that I'm going to put a link to in the description that's on Substack, which was written by a colleague and a friend of mine, Andy Beach. And Andy has been a technologist for a long, long time. I worked with him, probably 20 years ago, creating content having to do with post-production and things like that. And he was in the role of a producer and I was creating content. And that's how our friendship and our working relationship started. And he has since gone on to write books about compression. He has just finished a relatively long stint at Microsoft, and he was a vice president over there, and he knows his stuff. And while he is figuring out what his next step in life is going to be professionally, he has been writing some really fascinating articles. And it seems to be there's a little bit of a thread and a theme having to do with AI. And this one in particular, I think, is really fascinating for you to check out because it really talks about what is the main problem, at least today, with AI, which is that obviously there's a fear and a reality of AI taking away lots of jobs from people, a lot of jobs in many different industries, including ours. But at least from Andy's viewpoint, and I agree with him, it's not AI that is making those decisions, it's people. It's people who are making the decision that we're going to lay off 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 people and replace them with AI instead of looking at, okay, we can integrate AI into what we're doing. We may have to retrain or move people over to different areas to handle whatever it is we're looking at in terms of growth, but it's not always cut and dry. It's not AI that's making the decision to lay off people. It's people who are making that decision. And while AI will have huge impacts on certain industries and things that are happening, and it will continue to affect we'll call it the livelihood of certain people who are going to lose their jobs, who are going to have to move into different areas. It's the way AI is being approached by companies that is the problem we're dealing with right now. Sure, at a certain point, AI may get to the place where it's firing people. It may not. But the problem right now is people. So I want you to go check out that article. If you do, in fact, read it, I'd love to hear your viewpoints about it. I think that Andy is a very smart person, and I think he's definitely tapped into what is actually happening at the moment. And he's an advocate for us, for people. And he wants us to use this technology creatively for the things that we're doing. And, I think that it's like another conversation I had with somebody today, which is that put to good use, AI is taking away the mundane activities, the things that we never wanted to do. Sure, there was a small percentage of people at the very high end who were doing it and wanted to do it. Rotoscoping might be a good example of that. But for most of us, day in, day out, trying to get from production to post, back to production, then to post, there's so many things that we have to do or deal with that can be handled using AI, machine learning, so on and so forth, that it can just make our lives a lot easier and let us focus more on the creativity. And I'm not not saying that it's not going to have negative impact as well. I'm just saying that I think that a lot of the problems that we're dealing with right now are problems that human beings are creating because they say this can replace everything. Read the article. I think it'll make sense. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.